Hi there guys, this is Richard, your host, with another marvelous video, Galaxy of Terror, Best Alien Ripoff Movie Explained. How many alien movies have you watched? No, I don't want you to count of course, but here's an alien movie with a twist. What is your darkest fear? Not just any abstract fear, but fear of a horrifying monster or insect, or maybe even yourself. What if the alien can manifest itself as your darkest fear? That's the secret plot of the 1981 horror sci-fi film Galaxy of Terror, produced by Roger Corman and directed by B.D. Clark. Last but not least, the production designer and second unit director of the film was none other than James Cameron. Co-written by B.D. Clark, the movie is a cocktail of Ridley Scott's Alien and 1956 horror classic Forbidden Planet. The film highlights a group of explorers who land on the planet of Morganthus for a rescue mission. They encounter a giant pyramid-like structure and are soon slaughtered by monsters shaped by their worst fears. Roger Corman is known to follow the trend and produce low-budget movies in a short time. No wonder he retraced the same road that led to the massive blockbuster Alien in 1979. Corman is also famous for hiring talented people who would provide the best production design, fast and cheap. That's when James Cameron stepped in. Cameron, with his innovative skills, created costumes and sets with awe-inspiring designs. It is rumored that Cameron used even burger boxes to construct the spaceship interiors and planet surfaces. After creating the remarkable set, Cameron wasn't happy with the lighting and cinematography. He then decided to step behind the camera, and the founding stone was laid for one of the finest directors the world will remember. It was in the set of Galaxy of Terror where Cameron met Corman's assistant, Gail Ann Hurd. He helped Cameron produce his future films like The Terminator, Aliens, and The Abyss. Through this film, Cameron also met Alec Gillis, who later worked with him as a creature effects coordinator on Aliens and Aliens v Predator Requiem. MPAA initially granted the film an X rating for prolonged gore and the infamous giant worm rape scene. After a few cuts, the MPAA gave an R rating for the film. The rape scene was a later addition in the movie to fulfill Corman's promise to the producers to include a nude, erotic scene in the film. Actress Taffy O'Connell performing the rape scene and director Clark were indeed not happy with it, but finally agreed to Corman's decision. Let us now visit the bizarre planet of Morganthus and find out about the darkest fears of the explorers.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Exploring the darkest fears on Morganthus. The movie commenced on a dark, deserted planet, Morganthus, with a panic-stricken explorer running frantically inside a spaceship. There was a corpse lying with part of his scalp missing, and the terrified man was escaping from something, but it wasn't clear what the strange thing was. On another planet, Xerxes, two people were seen playing some game. One of them was being referred to as the Planet Master.
A small world on the fringes of occupied space,
Whose head was veiled in a glow of red light like a sun. The Master received a transmitted signal informing that all contacts with the spaceship Remus were lost near planet Morganthus. The Master immediately ordered a rescue mission with the spaceship Quest and the crew that he particularly chose. The mission was led by Commander Ilvar, featured by Bernard Behrens. Captain Trantor, featured by Grace Zabriskie, was the spaceship's slightly demented captain, the sole survivor of a massacre that had occurred aboard spaceship Hesperus. The other crew members included Cabren, the cool-headed space veteran, Aluma, who was psi-sensitive, Ranger, and Demir, the technical officers of the spaceship, Kor, the ship's cook, featured by Ray Walston, Balon, the second-in-command, Q-Hod, the crystal shuriken thrower, and Kars, an inexperienced crewman. Ranger was starred by Robert Englund, best known for the Nightmare on Elm Street film series, and Taffy O'Connell starred as Demir. The Quest roared into space as Captain Trantor granted the crew only 30 seconds to prepare for the launch.
But Captain, no one's prepared!
They've got 30 seconds to get prepared.
And once the spaceship settled in space, she decided to hyperjump for saving time. But as soon as the spaceship neared the planet Morganthus, Captain Trantor was no longer able to control the spaceship as some unseen force took over. Somehow, Quest managed to crash land on the planet, and the crew prepared to commence their rescue mission. The rescue team, consisting of Q-Hod, Aluma, Cabran, and Koz, led by Balon, reached the wrecked spaceship Ramos, and all they found were mutilated corpses. Kos was already scared to death from the very beginning and was left behind as his seniors moved on. Suddenly, he was attacked by a gruesome, monstrous insect and killed. Back in Quest, Ranger and Demir performed autopsies on Kos and another corpse from Ramos. Aluma revealed that she sensed something around Kos, but once he died, it disappeared, which everyone but Balon believed. Meanwhile, Ilvar conveyed that the scanner of the ship stopped at a point that could not be detected, and they had no option but to investigate the source of that point themselves. As the team, led by Captain Ilvar, approached the issue, they discovered a pyramidal structure that Aluma felt was empty and dead. Ilvar, Cabren, and Demir decided to investigate the perimeter while Balon, Aluma, and Quhod climbed up the structure. Ilvar eventually found an opening and decided to lower himself down. And while sliding down the rope, another worm-like creature with tentacles sucked up his blood and slaughtered him. Cabren and Demir joined the rest and informed them about Ilvar's uncanny death. Quhod tossed his crystal shurikens to open a doorway, but to his dismay, the shurikens shattered into pieces. Quhod guarded the entrance as the rest moved on. Suddenly, Quhod found his shurikens reassembling into its original form. His joy was soon converted to horror as a piece of the shuriken pierced his hand and started moving up. Quhod sliced off his arm to stop it from penetrating further, but the severed arm threw another shuriken towards him and killed him. Demir discovered Quhod's dead body and his severed arm covered with maggots. It's worth mentioning here that Cameron used real maggots, and to make them wriggle, he invented a setup with a flow of current while the electric cables were hidden behind the set. As soon as someone switched on the current, the maggots would wriggle frantically. Two producers present on the set were so impressed with Cameron's innovative ideas that they signed him up for their next film, Piranha 2: The Spawning, released in 1981. Back in the film, Demir was extremely scared of worms, and though she burnt the severed hand and the maggots, one worm survived. It grew bigger and bigger into a giant worm and severely raped and killed Demir, leading to the most controversial erotic scene of the film, which is quite intense. If this is the censored version, it's scary to imagine what the uncut version would have been like. How can this be someone's darkest fear? I really don't know. On that note, Taffy O'Connell was almost crushed under the enormous giant worm structure during the shoot. Back in Quest, Captain Trantor started behaving abnormally. Suddenly she imagined Kor as a spy and started running. As soon as she tried to open an airlock, a blast occurred, killing her instantly. Inside the pyramid, the remaining team, to their horror, found the nude body of Demir covered in slime as Balon fired a flare and incinerated her. They returned to the quest, and though Aluma desperately wanted to go back to their planet, Cabren decided to re-explore the pyramidal structure as it might prevent them from escaping. 5 of them returned to the structure, and this time they slid through a tunnel and reached a strange, perplexing place where ultimately everyone became separated. While Balon was attacked by a grisly creature and thrown outside the pyramid, Ranger was attacked by his replica, but he managed to survive. A petrified Aluma attempted to reach Cabren but found herself confined in a small tunnel. As she slid along, she was grabbed by the tentacles of an unknown monster, leading to the most gruesome murder of the movie. Actually, Erin Moran featuring Aluma had consented to shooting a nude scene, but later she changed her mind and agreed to a vicious death. Ranger and Cabren realized that their deepest fears came to life inside the pyramidal structure. When they thought there was nothing else left for them to fear, they saw Kor standing at the top of the pyramid, and when Cabren climbed up to him, he found Kor's head covered by the red light, indicating that Kor indeed was the Planet Master. He told Cabren that the pyramid was an ancient toy for children of a long-lost tribe to reveal and control their darkest fears.
This pyramid is an ancient toy, a brilliant initiatory tool.
Cabren was infuriated to learn all this because if Kor wanted, he could have saved all those who had died. Kor also stated that Cabren had proved himself to be fearless among all, but he would also have to learn to control his emotions. Soon, all the previous creatures and all his teammates attacked Cabren, but he survived all the assaults and returned to Kor. Kor stated that Cabren had won the game and he would become the new Planet Master, just as Kor had become the Master when he won. Hence, Cabren killed Kor, and as the red radiating ball of energy circled Cabren's head, the pyramid lit up and became dark again. Cabren had become the new Planet Master. Apparently, the galaxy of Terra plot is quite interesting, setting it apart from many other alien invasion movies, but the film appeared too short to explore the storyline. Viewers hardly understand the concept of the darkest fears coming to life before almost most of the crew is dead. None of the characters are explained suitably, while the major emphasis seems to be on the vicious murders. But considering the fact that the budget of the film was less than $1 million, the set, costumes, and creatures effects are remarkable. Many critics also believe that the choice of cast for the movie was entirely unexpected, but everyone pulled off their characters quite well. Sid Haig felt that the script didn't suit his character, so he took Corman's permission to remain mute most of the time. Q-Hod's death was also bizarre. There is no way to understand what exactly was his darkest fear. Nothing is more disappointing than a bland execution of an exciting plot. But the movie, for sure, proved to be the stepping stone for a few chosen ones whose careers took a hyper jump from here. The pyramidal structure and deadly creatures explored. The concept of the pyramid in the film Galaxy of Terror is closely associated with the Alien movie. Dan O'Bannon's original script of the Alien mentioned two main objects. One was the dilapidated vessel that sent SOS signals, and the other was an alien pyramid. It also stated that the aliens were a unique annihilated race who performed a strange religious-based reproductive system within the pyramid structures. The explorers on the planet were supposed to find alien eggs inside this pyramid structure, but later, Ridley Scott decided to change the pyramidal structure to a honeycombed egg silo structure. However, the concept of the silo was also rejected by Scott due to lack of time and budget. Well, now we know that Galaxy of Terror succeeded in creating and highlighting the pyramid structure, which Scott and Geiger failed to do so. Though the pyramid in Galaxy of Terror had nothing to do with reproduction, it was represented as a toy belonging to some long-lost alien civilization. The structure was built to reveal the darkest fears of children in an enlarged form, and to enable them to control their fear and emotions. But the crew of the Quest had no clue about this phenomenal power of the pyramid, and so before they could comprehend anything, they were slaughtered by their own fears. Their darkest fears manifested in the highest forms and murdered them brutally. This bizarre power of the structure had eventually become a daring game to select the Planet Master. The winner of the game undoubtedly would be someone who possessed the highest ability to control fear and emotion. As we see in the Galaxy of Terror, Cabren was the fearless man who also succeeded in controlling his emotions, and hence he succeeded the previous Planet Master, Core. The structure had so much power that it was able to override the autopilot system of any spacecraft in its vicinity and attracted the spacecraft until it crash-landed, as we have seen with both Quest and Ramus that crashed on Morganthus. A colossal massacre had also occurred in Ramus, as is evident from the first scene. The structure could not even be detected by the scanner of any spaceships, and it would not allow any spaceship to escape from its clutches. Illuma, who was size-sensitive, was right about the structure being empty and dead. We can conclude that the pyramid that we didn't get in the Alien was used for giving life, while the pyramid we did get in the Galaxy of Terror was for taking lives. Examining Galaxy of Terror as a rip-off of Alien. For ages, it's been a trend to produce rip-offs of a highly successful film that has enthralled the audience. Ridley Scott's Alien was no exception. We get a series of rip-offs in the next decade, beginning with the 1979 John Carter film, The Dark, followed by films like Saturn III, Inseminoid, Intruder Within, and many more. But Corman's Galaxy of Terror proved to be a sensational, thrilling version of Alien with grisly attacks, excessive violence, and nudity. The film can be considered as a classic example of a B-movie with maximum use of resources, a twisted plot of the alien presented in a low-budget yet impressive manner. The sets of this film were reused in the film released the following year, Forbidden World. Cameron and his team's effort to reuse and recycle scraps into an incredible set would have yielded him an award of Champions of the Earth had it all occurred at the present. Reasons to watch the movie. The movie indeed has its moments, especially the deaths of Demir and Illuma successfully triggering the adrenaline rush with a terrifying impact. You can watch the movie if you need the adrenaline rush. You must watch the film if you are an Alien fan, and if you are a James Cameron fan, you might love to watch the film that positioned him behind the camera for the first time. If you're someone learning to make a successful low-budget film, then this movie is a must-watch. Last but not least, you can watch the movie as an environmentalist and enjoy the emphasis of the 2 R's, reuse and recycle.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.